Welcome to session 5 of our Tweaking Tuesdays. So already we have gone through around 5 sessions, including that one for the document submission for a final assessment. Now we are in the session 5 of interview preparation, where we plan to discuss about the question and answer on core competencies, commercial management of construction works, and managing projects. Both are relatively similar competencies, but managing projects comes only under the project management pathway. But commercial management, it comes under both, while at level 3 for the quantity surveying and construction. So how many of you are under the pathway project management? Yes, Dennis.
Sorry, good evening. I'm on the project management pathway.
Okay, that is fine. So you are on the project management pathway.
Yes, correct. I think I'm on the I'm the only one, I believe.
Okay, that is it is you are traveling all alone.
Yes, exactly.
So most of others, I assume that quantity surveying and construction. Anybody appearing for the interview this time?
Yes, sir. I am appearing this session.
Karthik, okay.
Joshi. My name is Joshi, sir.
Okay.
I am appearing this time.
Okay, that is good.
I'm also attending for the final interview. This time also.
That is good. Okay. So you have commercial management of construction also at level 2, Dennis?
No, I don't.
You didn't choose. Okay.
No, I didn't choose. I chose stakeholder management and work quality management.
Okay, that's good. Joshi, you took at level 3 or level 2?
Level 3, commercial management.
Okay. You took at level 3.
QS pathway.
Okay, that is good. But managing projects also, it is from inception to completion. This is also aiming at the commercial management of construction works only. Hello?
Hello, sir.
Yes, okay, no problem. You can move it. Because while we consider managing projects, means that is covering also all the things from inception, not only inceptions. When you say initial conceptualization, that time you will get the project definition as inception. Once you take into the inception stage, then move on to the project briefing. After that, financial feasibility, quality controls, you have to prepare completion timescales, subsequent programming based on the timescale you decided, because you should know when to complete the project, when do you require that project to be completed. You have to decide, then based on that we will be preparing the programming. After that, contractual and legislative requirements. How do you want to set up the project to execute? In order to execute that, it will come into the consideration like stakeholder management and reporting and auditing. So all these things during the project progress and performance. So this assessment of project and stakeholder performance also included within this competency. So this will be very essential, most crucial aspect of project management, because the project management, instead of mentioning project management, here it is mentioned as managing projects. That means more than one. You could have been managing more than one project simultaneously. That is the same case comes to the commercial management of construction works. Again, when it comes to construction works, it's more into the stakeholder management, reporting, auditing, and the assessment of project performance as well as stakeholder performance. These aspects are core concepts under the commercial management of construction works, because here it is called commercial management of construction works, not like including the pre-contract where we are using the design economics and all. That is not covered here. That's why usually if you are a pre-contract QS, you will be given the option to select design economics as your core competency at level 3. Otherwise, if you are a post-contract most probably, then you will be selecting the commercial management of construction in the level 3 for core competency. The other one also you may select it into the level 2 as an optional competency. That is also available for you to choose in case if you are working together in pre-contract and post-contract. But when you are a project manager, you are considered to be either a project management consultant or a project manager for the contract firm. When you are working for a contractor, you will be managing the project. Either if it is a design and build, you will start from the design and continue with the construction. But if you are only coming to the post contract into the designed by employer, in that case you will be focusing only on the project management of construction project, not from the inception. But managing projects, that covers from the inception. So inception, project briefing, feasibility study, then move on to remaining aspects. That is the thing are covered in the managing projects. Under the managing projects at level 1, knowledge and understanding, you are expected to demonstrate a comprehensive understanding of all stages of the project life cycle. This is also important. Either you are working as a project manager or planning engineer, planning manager, or project coordinator, or even a construction manager. And when you are working as a quantity surveyor, you will be focusing on contractual and commercial aspects, but again, you have to take initiation to choose appropriate method of construction, like doing some value engineering or selecting appropriate procurement method or selecting appropriate supply chain. All these things going to benefit you to achieve profitability, because commercial manager is more into completing the project profitable. At the same time, project manager, the main focus comes into timely completion of the project with expected quality. At the same time, you also should complete the project within the budget provided to you, because the profitability will be the senior management's responsibility, but the project management takes responsible to complete the project within the budget allocated and within the timeline agreed with the expected quality. You cannot compromise the quality, you cannot compromise the time, you cannot compromise your budget. Your success, it lies into these three aspects: time, cost, and quality. So when we move on to understanding to the questions involved in this, so we will be focusing first on the understanding the commercial management of construction works, because this is going to be helpful for managing projects also during the construction stage. But for the commercial management of construction works, it is only the construction works, not pre-contract. So we will be discussing some questions. If anybody can try to answer, that is well and good. Otherwise, we will discuss how to put up answering for given scenario. So when we take understanding the commercial management of construction, the main thing is that the knowledge comprised within this or towards the achievement of profitability. So profitability, what you do, you will monitor the project, report the project, and advise. So report, although the commercial manager is not the one to prepare the report, most of us are quantity surveyors. We are going to prepare the reports as well as advise by interpreting the recommendations. So this monitor, report, advice, also auditing, all these things comes under managing projects also. That's why we combined both into this session. So first we will start with the level 1. When you are going into commercial management of construction works, what are the typical components that make up the cost of a construction project for a contractor? Anybody willing to try to answer? Because it is the level 1 question. Anyone?
For the construction project, cost is comprised with material cost, manpower cost, plant and equipment cost, subcontractor cost, overheads, overheads and contingencies, provisional sums, day works, all these costs are covered under the commercial management.
Yes, because it is all coming under the commercial management.
Yes.
What is your overheads and indirect costs also you are considering into them while making sure that you will achieve the profitability. So if you start listing these things relevantly, then the assessor will be happy and move on to next question. Anybody would like to add something here or you want to discuss something more? What can be indirect cost? Joshi, you can say something for indirect cost.
Indirect cost is the cost of our head office expenses such as head office staff salary, then their rental charges of offices, head offices, uh, uh, their utility bills and their transportation charges. These are all covered under the.
Yes, and you can add to that insurances, what you are providing, and performance bond, advance payment bond, whichever you are providing. All these are cost, indirect cost you are going to provide to the particular project, as well as workmanship and equipment. All these things you will have maintenance cost also.
Sir, I have one doubt here. Sir, this
Yes,
performance bond insurance, these are coming under preliminaries, na?
yes, yes, preliminaries, but these are all not direct cost. Direct cost means deliverables, where you
Yes,
have other than the preliminaries. Preliminaries, yes, what you have in the preliminaries, most of them are site overhead.
yes, yes,
That is helpful to achieve the completion of expected works within other sections of bills.
yes,
So you will start with the site work, excavation, everything. All these things are work deliverable. But in the preliminaries, what you have is the components required achieve the project. The site office overhead, which are the storage, site office facility, electricity, water, maintenance, cleaning. All these things comes under the preliminaries.
yes.
Thank you. Let us move on to next question. How can design decisions impact overall cost of construction project?
Sorry, sir. Can you repeat once again, sir?
How can design decisions
Design
impact
this.
overall cost of construction project? Yes, Dennis, you can try. Yes, of course.
Yeah, if I can try. So all these changes is design changes could impact the cost because when we change the design, it might occur additional cost. Like the client can choose very expensive marble, for example,
Of
or
course.
then we have to manage this through change management control process, correct? Or
Yes, of course. Because you have to have change control process or change management process. That is required to monitor what are all the changes happening during the construction. If you want something else like AC, you have some particular type of AC, or else if you are selecting a facade like a curtain wall glazing, if that is not having adequate thermal conductivity protection, then automatically your AC level should be higher. So those kind of things, but this is MEP, but I am giving some example. You may do that with your own specific knowledge with variation and changes that is going to occur in each and every project. You are going to face some variations. That's what expected here. So design changes means you may do some value engineering in order to change the method of work or to change the material or to achieve cost saving or to achieve better performance. It can be anything, but when you change, it is going to be some cost impact as well as time impact also. But I just asked about cost impact. So how it is going to affect? So even a method, if you are changing, it is going to affect the cost. Okay, let us move on to next question. What is cost value reconciliation and what is its purpose? Or you may say like cost performance. Anyone?
Cost value reconciliation is the tool used by professional to understand the financial performance of the project. Also,
Yes.
it gives the idea of the project whether my project is making profit or loss by considering the expenses and the income uh, at particular point of time. It is
Okay,
called
fair
cost
enough.
value reconciliation.
Yes, that is good. So you will give advice based on that. It will be helpful to monitor the financial performance of the project and
Yes.
proactively take measures to avoid cost overruns in the project. That is what important. So it is most probably, since it is cost value reconciliation, directly proportionate to the financial performance.
Yes.
So the next question, we move on to that. Can you explain key considerations for managing subcontractors on a project? You are having so many subcontractors in a project. So what are the key considerations you will take into account?
For managing the subcontractors, sir.
Yes, of course.
For managing the subcontractors in the project, I will take the I will consider that their pre-qualification capacity to perform the work, their history in previous projects, that is their completed previous records, current projects, status of current projects, their financial capacities, and I will check their cash flow and their balance sheet, whether they are sufficient funds to manage my project. I
Okay,
mean,
these are pre-qualifications, and
yes.
further for this project, what you will expect from them? Now you are signing contract with them. So what are all the things you will take into consideration?
It is same like just like a contract. What is that is the essential requirement of the contract, sir? Huh? Same consideration we can apply them, sir. Huh?
Yes, yes, same consideration, but when you go to the thing, you have to define the scope. So which
Yes.
scope you are giving to them exactly? The scope matrix you have to do. What
Yes.
support the
Yes.
main contractor are going to provide? What is expected from the subcontractor? This should be there clearly. And then
Yes.
payment terms, how you are going to pay back to back basis. Once you receive the payment, once the employer pay you, then only you are going to pay, or you are going to pay on the monthly basis or milestone basis. How do you want
Yes.
to pay? That terms you have to agree. And again, schedule. You will give the schedule, main contractor schedule. You will give this time you have to start it, this time you have to finish. Give me your details of working methods. So that one you will give it to them. And again, you will give the performance expectations, safety measures, all these things you will give it to them. And again, potential dispute management, dispute resolutions, what are all the things you are going to consider in that contract. All these things you will discuss and agree with them before signing the contract. That is
Yes.
also important. And after that, periodically you will evaluate their performance, how the subcontractors are performing according to the agreed terms, they are performing or not. Same like you are doing CVR and schedule performance for the main project. Likewise, you will do for each and every supply chain. That means every subcontractor you will maintain individual indices to verify and audit them. Otherwise, if they delay, that is going to have more impact for you than to the subcontractor, because their portion is very limited. But if the same delay, if you take for the main contractor, the delay penalties may be more, and again it may impact so many other works also. So you have to proactively manage their things. And what is a cash flow forecast? Anybody?
It is
Yes,
in,
please. Yes,
yeah,
Dennis.
it is in and outgoing of amount of money for a company
Yes,
over a period of time.
of course. So that will be any idea how do you achieve that? The cash flow forecast preparation?
Um, we do it, but per stages, sir. It's like we have
Okay,
7
okay, yes.
stages, RIBA workflow plan. So basically, I work closely with the commercial manager. And
Okay,
then when we baseline a budget, for example, before we start the project, we have a funds, and then we distribute it over 7 stages. And then every stage, value of work done, then precisely through invoices, POs, then we
okay,
understand what is the actual against the forecast, for example.
okay,
So basically, we manage like that. It's not like construction, I know, because I'm employer's representative, not on the contractor side, but be solve through this, the forecast cash flow, basically.
Yes, I understand because since you are an employer's representative, you are focused on the payments only. So they have to give you when to expect how much to be work done as well as how much payment you are going to make for a particular month. So that will be financial arrangements required by the employer as well as you have to verify whether the project going as per the budget or not. If something deviating from that, like change management, you have to consider that one also, how it is going to affect the cash flow. So those kind of things will be required. Anything from Joshi, you want to add something here?
No, sir. I'm
Thank
still
you, thank you,
studying.
no problem. It's fine. Okay, so let us, hello, anybody?
Hello.
Everybody has to give their input. Everybody has to take part in the question and answer session.
Yes, yes, of course. If
Yes,
more people are engaging, then only we will have many diversified approach to the problem. You will
yes,
have
yes,
more knowledge and understanding. Only
yes,
one
yes,
point of
yes,
view will not be sufficient enough to become a professional.
yes.
That is what we are trying to do. So it's not one person who can give something. Okay, for level one, of course, it's not going to be much deviating, a limited deviation from the intended description. So we move on to level 2 now. So level 2, what we are going to do? We are going to do about application of knowledge. You have knowledge and understanding. Now you are going to apply them. When you are applying them, like describe a time when you involved in collecting data for the cost report. Now you are preparing some cost report. You are collecting data. What were the key challenges and how did you overcome them? So this is one of the thing. Usually you are expected to give example from your project and tell something. When I am working here, so I was preparing cost report. I went on to collect from so and so and so on stakeholders or your team members, and what was the difficulty in achieving that required cost data or cost report details. This is both when you are even from the employer side, you will expect the details to be accurate from the contractor. Contractor may only try to give whatever he has immediately, but you need to be more specific what other details are required in order to understand. So either from contractor or from the employer or client representative consultant, this cost report is important aspect every month to keep track of the financial progress. So anybody try to answer? What are all any challenges you faced when collecting the information from others? Sarindu, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So from your experience when you prepare the cost report, any challenges faced to collect the details? Hello, Joshi, you can try.
Uh, I will try, sir. While
Yes,
preparing
please.
the cost report, the number of challenges faced by me. But first of all, there is a for the for the I have to recognize the first the income from the for particular point of time how much work is completed for, in terms of the revenue of the project. For that work, what is the work in progress done at site for that evaluation I have to do. For that, I have to get correct input from the site staff. How much partially completed work is? I have to consider partial cost in that one. Also, also some manpower is there. Manpower and equipments costs are there. That is their timesheet records is timely available, and any fuel cost, everything I have to coordinate with all the staff, and their data should be accurately to accurate.
Okay. Okay, that is fine. Yes, Raghu.
Here, one thing I can add that kind of a software which all the sites can access if, from a contractor point of view. I'm saying if they can
Okay.
enter all the data there, that will be very helpful for the QS. End of the month, they can collect the data.
Yes.
And also one more thing here that the accuracy, the project code, and they have to be enter each project. The cost allocation should be there properly mentioned there, or else the some other project cost will be here. Also, there are some other accruals like the invoices of the month. Maybe they are not booked in the system, so that will be maybe they didn't enter it to the system, so that will also affect the cost.
Yes. Yes, of course. Those are valid points when you are considering the materials delivered or units delivered to the site. You have to bring the invoices and include it in the report, particularly when you have material on site payments, material off-site payments, all these things. So many documents are required for those things to include in the progress. Again, when there are variations, some of the variations are instructed by the employer, and no any sort of proposal or acceptance to the proposal or approval to the proposals are not available, then this variation, it will not be possible to include in your report or payment. This, then that cost is not clear to your report. So what is the thing is important is to make sure each and everything is accurate. So those kind of things are discrepancies you may face to collect the details. You are collecting from so many people, the site staff and the procurement department. So like many suppliers, subcontractors are involved. So when you are providing this kind of information, see, even some contractor, they will claim something, but it will be like we prepare some proposal like this is the cost what we have.
Can I ask one question?
Yes, please.
What about the LD? If the project is delayed and there is a chance of LD, so that LD cost has to be included there?
No, LD usually it is not part of the cost report. Cost report, it is
Yes.
about the incurred cost and value. So you don't need to worry about delay. That is contractual. That comes over and above to your payments and project value. So it's not part of the cost report usually. But if you have something like claims, that can be some EOT claims or something else, of course, that is going to be impacting in your cost report.
Like the
That cost,
prolongation cost?
that
Yes,
cost we can get from the finance finance department, this ledger cost, no?
yes,
From
of
ledger.
course. But these are the
No need
difficulties
to add
you,
separately.
yes,
And
but you have to
subcontract
get
accrual
it.
we are adding.
Yes, of course, you can do
We are
those things.
taking from the finance department from ledger that actual cost, and we are taking other things subcontractor accrual.
Yes,
And
so that's what.
then
So when you go into the practical, maybe some people they will not give on time. That is the problem. So they won't give adequate details of the accrued cost. So those kind of things are difficulties you are facing while preparing the cost report. So this is sort of questions they try to understand whether you are really working on cost report if you are writing something that you are preparing monthly cost report in your summary of experience. The assessor wants to know really you are preparing a cost report. Then when you prompted with a question like what sort of difficulties you are facing, so you can list a few and how you are facing and how you try to overcome them. Maybe you will start collecting them progressively, not waiting until the preparation of cost report or payment application. So that is well and good. Proactively, you try to follow up and get them beforehand. So those kind of things are important to understand whether you are. Yes, please. Anybody was telling something? Okay. So that is the thing record from the difficulties you faced during your cost report preparation. Okay, give an example. The cost to complete exercise you have undertaken. What were the key inputs and outputs of this exercise? Now you are achieving what cost to complete. Already you have something like cost report, accrual cost, cost value reconciliation you are doing. What is the value achieved? What is the cost incurred? Now you want to see how much cost is required to complete the project, the remaining project. So cost to complete. This cost to complete, if you are writing in your summary of experience, you are expected to answer this question by what are all the input, what are all the outputs. Anybody wants to try?
For
We have
working
around.
out cost to, first
Yes,
for
yes.
working out the cost to complete, first I will collect, I will work out the what is the balance scope of the work in my project. And for that one I will work out the material cost, how much was manpower cost, subcontracting cost, plants and equipments, particularly for that remaining work. Also,
Yes, yes.
also, I will make the adjustment of already my I will adjust the I already procured material available with me. I will make the negative correction for the already available material. Then so that I have to procure more material during the for the balance less material for the balance period. Also, I will check the subcontractors required for the balance work or not. I will make the understand the cost for the subcontracting work also. Parallelly, overheads and direct overheads, indirect overheads, I will work proportionately based on my previous experience.
Yes, those kind of things are necessary. This is done when you have clearly doing the cost performance tracking, and
Yes.
you have the cost report, all the accrued cost you have, what are all the materials available. Maybe you ordered them well in advance, you are having in the storage. The
Yes.
remaining what is required to be paid. Maybe some of the things you purchased already, but you didn't pay the payment. So accrual basis, what is paid and what is pending, that is you have to take into consideration. This is going
Yes.
to give the cost to complete. At the same time, you have to identify which are all the cost overrun possibilities. Maybe in some items already you have completed the cost incurred, cost value reconciliation for that particular item is negative. That means you spend more than the budget amount. So how you are going to adjust that one? Are there any contingency fund available after adjusting? How much will be the remaining contingency? Those kind of things may also be involved. But usually at post contractor, when you are in the site level, you don't know about a contingency fund and all. But still, as a commercial management, contingency fund adjustment also important. Even when you go to the employer point of view, when you are receiving some sort of reports, cost report, you have to advise your employer what is the cost to complete. Maybe you instructed so many variations or changes as per the employer's requirement, but no cost confirmed. So you don't have the certainty of the cost. So that is going to be problem. So how you are going to address those kind of things? What sort of measures you could advise to your employer in order to have the original budget to be adjusted or not? This will give us anticipated final account also, because you have the cost incurred and you know what is the cost to complete. Both together, the total value of the project to be known. This is within the budget or not? That is the question. So that is going to be the deviating
Excuse me.
aspect. Yes, please.
Excuse me. I want to ask that when we are answering this question, do we
Yes, of
need to
course.
explain first? Do we need to explain first this? What is the cost to complete? No, then only we need to go other
Because
thing. No?
the question is, when you go into the question, give the example of cost to
Comprehensive.
complete exercise you have undertaken. That means this is about cost to
Actual.
complete. They are asking the exercise. That means it is level 2. How did you do? So when you
Then
are
only
in level 2, you don't need to explain the description, what is the meaning of cost to complete. But you can expect or you can narrate what is expected from the cost to complete. What do you want to achieve from cost to complete? That means why you are preparing cost to complete. That can be told.
yeah.
Is it
Correct.
clear or still
Yeah, yeah.
confusing?
Yeah. Maybe they will ask
No,
level 1, this is what is the cost to complete first, no? Then secondly ask this is what is the process. Like this?
I didn't get you. Could you please come
Maybe
again?
le- maybe the what is the cost level 1 question they will
Yes,
ask
what is the
before
cost to
this
complete?
one.
Why do you do that? If they ask like that, then you have to explain the purpose of cost to complete and what is the description of cost to complete. But when they say, how did you do in any project or in your experience? How did you prepare cost to complete? Means you have to explain what are all the inputs you want to collect, how what is the output is expected from the cost to complete. So what do you want to achieve from cost to complete? That is what important.
Then we can say actual cost we are taking from the finance department ledger. Then other balance cost we can take from the according to the remaining work cost to remaining work we can take from the according to the program we have to calculate, and subcontract accurate. We need to add the subcontract accurate like this.
Yes, of course. So you have to take into consideration of any variation inserted in between. Those kind of things also you have to add. That is what expected. So this is at level 2. It's not at level 3. So you don't need to go on how do you interpret these things. That is not required. But still, you have to explain what are all the inputs and what are all the outputs. So when you go on to question like tell me about your experience in preparing a cash flow forecast for a construction project. What were the key assumptions you made? Now the question is very specific. They are not asking what are all the components you took, what are all the key elements of the cash flow forecast, how do you prepare? They don't ask anything. They just go on to see what were the key assumptions you made, because you are making some assumption when you are preparing the cash flow forecast. So what sort of assumption you are making? So anybody can try to answer this.
While preparing the cash flow forecast, I will assume that there will not be any price fluctuation in the till the completion of my project.
Okay.
I will secondly I will ensure that the quality maintained by the contractor should be as per specification, that there should not be any rework, and the corresponding cost should not be incurred.
That is a valid point, because there won't be any rework or corrective measures or repair works. Yes.
Also the risk management team will perform as per the policy of the contracting company. So any risk, we should not be make any positive or negative negative impact. Okay, any positive impact should not be expected the balance period. So I will make this assumption for the preparing cost report, for cash flow report.
Yes. Because these are the things. These are for materials you are mentioning. And one more thing, when you come to the labor, you are expecting some sort of productivity.
Yes.
Okay. That productivity is expected. So they have to achieve their productivity. If they delay, then that is going to be additional cost for the labor. So that is also one more point. So this kind of things. And again, some sort of things from employer also. He will pay on time. He will agree the variations on time. He will approve the designs on time. This kind of approvals from the employer also on time. If the consultants and the employer, they delay the approvals, it is going to be cost again for you. It is going to delay your project. So this kind of assumptions also you are making. Everything will be on time. They will do their part. So this kind of things you are doing as an assumption made. And another important, usually it is when we go into the thing, you will have the exact conditions, like what you are taking into the reports, whichever you achieved from, like underground water table or underground services. This unknown risk and all, it won't be there. As per report, everything clear and everything is correct.
That will come under the risk management, sir. That will come under
of course. This is also in the risk management, of course.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, let us move on to the next question.
I just apply my logic for this answer first.
Yes, of course. You have to apply the logic based on your understanding. That's what expected at level 2, because this is your testing us your experience. Did you work really in those things? Automatically you will get your understanding what you did or what you made assumptions. So you know, even though you never made this list already and try to remember this by memorizing, but still you are able to answer the question. That's what they just want to know.
I have not memorized, just logically based on my previous experience I have answered this question.
Yes, that is well and good. That's what I said. So it is very good. So next question, this is also very trending because most of the people in their case study as well as in commercial management, construction technology, everywhere they are using the term value engineering. So when you do the value engineering exercise, so you have to make sure how do you conduct the value engineering workshop, because you have to conduct it as a workshop. You cannot do it all alone. Nobody can be. Either you are a project manager or you are a employer or you are a contractor or you are a
Sound
subcontractor.
is
Anybody
not
can
clear.
be. Yes, please.
Sound is not clear.
Is it
Quality
not
is
clear
not
for
good. Sound
everyone?
quality. Yeah.
The sound is okay.
Okay for you? Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay.
We'll try to be slow down because this value engineering is the one aspect that is very trending usually in our quantity surveying as well as project management pathway. We use it in the case studies and summary of experience. We are mentioning we involved in value engineering workshops or value engineering procedures. Now to conduct the value engineering, you have to follow certain procedures step by step. First what you will do, next what you will do, like that. So they will ask what was the procedure you followed to conduct a value engineering. So this one you have to give with the example.
Can I answer, sir?
Yes, please.
For during the value engineering procedures or workshop, I will I have I will follow the following step. First is the I will understand the which is the area for the value engineering, to do the value engineering. Second, about I will identify the different solutions for the for that areas. Then for this all these solutions I will evaluate detailed evaluation will done for this all the evaluation area. Then further I will further I will shortlist the some options for more details evaluation. Then for this I will work out the best option for the for the value engineering and recommend to the manager or my management or engineer or employer for their consideration.
Okay, that is well and good from your procedures. How do you interact with
Can
the
I?
other stakeholders? Yes, please. Yes,
In the
Raghu.
value engineering, yeah, value engineering workshop, first you have to invite all the parties, all the stakeholders, including the cost consultant, the client, and the contractor should be there in that meeting. And we will ask about the agenda prepare the meeting agenda, and we will ask about what the client value system and what the client required exactly, what is they required as an alternative option. Then these options will be discussed. Also, if it related to design, the design engineer has to be there. Based on that only, we will issue the minutes of meeting to all the parties to provide with their options. Then only the cost part and other thing will be compared.
Okay, that is fine. So these two together combining stakeholder management as well as costs. That is what it is very important. Someone has commented impact of value engineering on life cycle costing should be considered. Yes, of course. That is also it is for life cycle costing. It is very important to take decision on the aspect of future cost. To take decision for the employer, you have to inform him with the life cycle costing also. That is also a very good point. Thank you. Let us move on to next question. Explain how you have monitored and reported on the profitability of a construction project you are involved in. Because the commercial management is all about making sure that the project is profitable. Although you do so many things, that is all comes under the construction management and project management and finance management, everything. But the core, the concept of commercial management is to make sure that the project is profitable. So that's why when the question is coming, this can be for any project because they are asking how have you monitored and reported on the profitability of a construction project. Anybody can try. So nobody are involved in profitability because that is the case for
Can I
us.
answer? Can I
Yes,
answer?
please. Yes, yes, please. Try,
For
please.
ensuring the profitability of the project, first I will prepare the reports as a budget monitoring report. That is, I will, according to the budget, I will prepare the what is the income and cost for the project, compare for the particular point of time, and I will prepare the, I will report the profit for the project. Secondly, I will prepare the cost value reconciliation report, then a cash flow report, and then my this key performance indicators or earn value management. Through this all these tools, I will report the profit to the senior management.
Yes, that is nicely put up. Because this is what we can do. So what we have, this is the budget, what we accepted to complete the project within the budget. Over and
Yes.
above the senior management, they are going to have the profit. Although we don't
Yes.
know exactly what is the profit margin they kept when we are working at the project level, still we know the project budget within which we need to complete the project. And again, we are going to get the value of the payment certificates. So the payment certificates inclusive of the profit. So automatically you know the difference between the budget and the value certified, the whole value of the project. That is going to be inclusive of your profit
Profit.
margin.
Yes.
So even though you don't know what it is the percentage available as contingency with the senior management and what is the percentage available for other sort of cost, still you know some sort of percentage is there as a whole markup. That markup you can compare and maintain whether it is within that or something deviating from the cost. Are you occurring some cost overrun within some area, maybe within the concrete section or within the block work or masonry or in the particular subcontractor work, something those sort of cost overrun you can predict and you can see whether it is going to impact on profitability. So those kind of advice we can prepare. Of course, many of us don't have the experience to work on the holistic approach of the, because if you are in that much senior level, you are not going to go through the APC. You will be in the senior professional route. So you will be doing leadership, managing people, those kind of things rather than doing the core competencies and optional competencies. Okay, so we have been discussing at level 2. Let us move on to level 3 questions. So here the recent advice and depth of knowledge is expected because not only simple knowledge but depth of knowledge. Your understanding level is higher level. Now the potential cost overrun is there. The client is concerned about. What would you give them regarding commercial management strategies to mitigate the risk? Because the client is asking now. No contractor, he was going on giving the instruction. I want this marble here. I want that fall ceiling here. He is selecting some very expensive options in some of the areas. That is going to have some cost impact. But still, he is simply selecting from his uh, aesthetic views and approach. Those kind of things are done, but no cost impact or time impact is agreed in between. Already he is giving instruction, keep on giving, but he at one point and now he is bothering about what will be the cost overrun. Now you need to advise him how you are making sure that this will be given to him on time and you will be able to manage it, or you will be able to convince him with a different sort of approach. Anybody? Dennis, you are from the employer side, so client may be asking about you.
Yes, sir. I have
So what is the
experience.
project?
Yes,
Project
yes.
will
I
be on
can tell.
budget or not?
I just I didn't want to stick my nose, as a project manager, but I have experience, sir. So
Yes, please.
I can tell that usually the client wants more changes before we start the construction on site.
Yes,
So
yes.
what we do with the commercial manager, we just even though during the construction, we just put the description what he wants actually in the change form or variation form, not the variation, change form. And then we send to the contractor and then ask from the contractor what will be the cost and time impact. So then we receive these things And then, of course, holistically, me together with the commercial manager, we look at it into it, and then we advise to the client what will be these changes in total, the cost and time impact to the program, basically,
Yes.
to the client. We'll explain.
Yes.
I mean, if he has the appetite to accept it,
Of course. Because he has to come back now.
usually,
So from your
yes,
point,
exactly.
you have done everything and provided him with what
Yes.
sort of things he can
Excuse me.
expect from the. Yes, yes, please.
I think no, we have to this as per the consultant QS, we have to explain to the client this is what is the change management procedure. We have to advise this is the change management procedure. If something changes, it's going to variation or other option. We can say the value engineering option to the we can propose to the regarding we can explain value engineering proposal to the client.
Of
No?
course. Yes, of course. Because as a uh, consultant and quantity surveyor, you would be able to do this. But then his point of view is about project manager. So they will be giving this when whatever they get the commercial manager's output. So that will be discussed on whether to accept or not. So that is what.
Excuse me. I want to
Yes,
ask something.
please.
This
Yes,
commercial
please.
management duty is coming with the contractor, no? This is client side is a cost
No,
engineer, no?
when you go to the
As per the
RACS, no. If you go to the
project
commercial
finance,
management, this is about a holistic approach. The commercial manager can be from the client and consultant or from the contractor. Who is going to take this role? That role can be from anybody from the stakeholder,
but when we are
that
selecting
person
the
going to, yes, you can split into, most probably the commercial management comes to the contractor who has more control
yeah,
and more
because this is
sources
commercial
to,
management.
yes,
Commercial management searching profit for the project, no? This cost
that's what,
engineer is
so
value. He has
again,
to
that's
find the
what I'm
value for
telling,
the
value for the thing, but it can be interpreted in two different scenarios. Now, I'm telling you, you are doing a project from client's point of view, and you have some contract agreed, and you have contingency on hold. Now, your project has some value, like take it, either it's a residential building, and you know in that area what sort of, if it is for renting or if it is for sales, you know the square feet rate what you can sell it. Now this market rate you have, based on that you decided your feasibility study. Now you want to develop this project and sell it. When you sell it, you have to make profit. So whenever you take decision during the changes in the construction, you have to consider your profitability when you complete the project and sell it. The
why
market
this I
value of the project is, yes, please.
why I asked this question because RICS this guideline this clearly mentioned commercial management for the contractor this other this cost economic is going to the consultant like this, no? That when we are selecting the competencies, it is already
Because
there, no?
you are selecting the competency.
Yeah,
Now I am asking you the question. You didn't involve in the pre-contract. That means you never been into the cost plan and cost estimate
yeah,
and
cost.
cost control during the design plan. Okay, design stages you never involved. You are working for a consultant or you are working for the client, but you only working on the post contract. So what do? You will select commercial management or you will select design economics, because mostly on the better side, usually the contractor would select the commercial management. Although if you are working for the consultant or employer, still you only have post contract experience. Your knowledge is limited to the commercial management, not to the design economics, because you never did cost plan or you didn't control the cost using the cost plan. So how do you do design economics? So design
Yes.
economics is not your core competency then, although
Yeah,
you
yeah.
are working for employer or your consultant. So that is the scenario. Although overall suggestion is given to the contractor side QS to take commercial management, it is direct. because when you are working for the contractor side, most probably you will be doing only for the post contract. But when you are working for the employer or consultant side, you have to discuss with your counselor to select your core competency. That is what in what we can say in fine detail, because this is based on the experience. You will understand it is not from the judgment of whether you are working for contractor or consultant. And again, if you are working for the contractor and that contractor is design and build, and he is usually doing for the public private partnership, and he is developing the project and
Yeah.
maintaining the project, operating the project, then you will be working in different stages within the contractor himself. Again, you may be working in the design economics. So the decision is not clearly divided into either you are contractor or not. It is about whether you are having more knowledge on post contract or more knowledge on pre contract.
One
That
other
is what
competency,
important.
one other competency, project finance also. This is related to actually consultant, because when we are writing this competence related project finance, this contractor don't have this some
Yes, of
example.
course.
Difficult to
That
find.
is the problem, but it is closely associated for the different scenarios. That's why you don't get chance to have such kind of experience when you are working in the contractor side. Although you are preparing the project reports, that is not project finance. You are not bothering about project finance. You are only bothered about reports when you are working for the contractor. So those kind of confusions are there. That's why when you are electing the thing, you have option only for the commercial management and the design economics, but not for the project finance control and reporting. This is mainly for the how you made available the finance of the project and how you manage it well to complete the project. That is what it is important. So it is mostly favoring towards achieving the project success of the employer, not towards exactly of the contractor. Again, when it comes to the commercial management, it is mostly favoring to the contractor than to giving to the employer or consultant. But if you go to the commercial management, the guidance note, they have clearly divided two roles. That is whether you are favoring the employer representative side or you are on the contractor's representative. So anybody can be commercial manager for the particular project. Again, the decision taking, it is going to be different because the contractor has specific value of the project and budget. So this budget versus value, that is going to be the concern for the contractor. When you go to the employer side, the outcome of the project, what you are going to achieve after, okay, if it is going to be the own purpose, you are going to use it, then you will be bothering about what is the life cycle costing. Nothing more than that. But if you are a developer, you are developing the project and selling it or renting it, then you want to make sure you will be profitable. Otherwise, if you take decisions that is going to make your project suffer with more cost overrun, then you are going to lose in future also. Not only spending more money now, but in future also you will be occurring loss during the life cycle of the project. That means whole life cycle, not only construction life cycle. So this some sort of gray area are there. We have to take ourselves, ask ourselves whether we are confident to do this kind of things, and we try to relate to the experiences what we have. So that is the only thing we can do when you go to the project finance, because you have no other option to ignore that. You have to do that project finance. You have to take in your own way. That's what you have to do. But when you come to the commercial management and design economics, you have to take decision to keep it at level 3 or not for you. Whether you have certain experience to handling this in your day-to-day work. That is what is important. Any further clarification required, or we can move on?
Yeah,
Yes,
that's
sir. Move
okay.
on, sir. Okay,
Yeah.
sir.
Mm.
Okay. So those kind of things we have seen. So we just take a few of the questions in this, what we can say, managing projects aspect. Like this is also same what you have for the project life cycle. So anybody can answer. What are the different stages of project life cycle? This is about the project, not about the entire
May I,
construction
sir?
or entire. Yes, please.
Okay, usually we have 7 stages.
Yes, please.
So the stage 1 is project briefing, and stage 2 is concept design, stage 3 develop design, 4 technical design, which means the tender also happens in that stage. Stage 5 is construction, 6 handover, and 7 in use, which means the liability period. But we have also stage 0, but that's usually when the client needs to supposed to prepare their business case, basically, or project brief to give to project manager.
Okay, that is well and good. When you come to the stakeholder management, either it can be from the commercial management or it can be from the project management. Are you aware of RACI matrix? How it is used?
May I, sir? Is it
Yes,
RACI
please. Yes,
matrix,
please.
right?
Yes,
RACI
yes.
matrix. It is responsible, accountable, consulted, and informed. So this is to identify your basically stakeholders, managing the communications also. So
Okay.
I can explain more, but.
Yes, this is level 1. You don't need to explain more. If you describe the things, that is sufficient enough. Because when you get this sort of questions, maybe if they ask from your example, how did you from one particular risk management or something, then you can go on to explain with particular project example. When you occur change management, how do you use this RACI to allocate the responsibility and use it appropriately to get the intended outcome for the change control? That can be possibility for this RACI at level 2 or level 3 also. Okay.
Okay.
So
So
when
when
we
we
think about
think
the
about the
project
project
program,
program,
somebody's, I think the noise it is coming back. Hello. Am I clear, audible to everyone?
Yes, yes. Now clear.
Okay, thank you.
yes, sir.
What is the purpose of the project program? Now you have the schedule. So this schedule, why do you want it?
Contractor has to finish the project within the time period as per the contract.
Okay, then
Program
completion date is enough. Why the program?
activities has to distribute
Yes.
and need to
In order
identify
to
the
monitor and control.
progress.
monitor and
The thing
control.
is that you want to monitor and control the progress. So to this progress, you want to make sure that you are moving on the right direction, you are progressing appropriately to achieve the thing. So this is quality assurance. Quality control, it comes only after the end point. You complete the work, then you see whether this quality is achieved or not. That is quality control. Quality assurance is what you are monitoring during the progress, even it is a work or even it is a progress. So you have to monitor during the progress, then only you will be able to make mitigation whenever it is required proactively. Otherwise, you only know once you elapse the time for completion. So that's what it is. And when you say construction contracts, what sort of construction contracts you are aware of? They will ask. Because now,
May I, sir?
yes, please.
Usually we use FIDIC, short form of contract.
Okay.
So
Anything else, or that is your regular practice?
this is the regular practice because
Okay.
this,
ACT,
yeah,
ICE,
Yes,
bespoke
please.
contract,
Okay.
That's
form of
NEC
contract,
contract also.
Okay.
PPP, project
NEC.
finance.
Of course. So you can say at least one, if you have only one awareness, because this is about awareness. If you know some other names, you can tell them, because they only ask you what are all the common forms of construction contracts you are aware of. This is just level 1 question. No need to worry about your practical experience. You can give the names. And if they say what is the working experience, then why you choose one over other? Then you can say I only work with this. So I decided based on the availability to me in our in-house practice. That time you can neglect to answer, or if you have the experience of choosing one particular contract over another, you can explain. Because
Yes,
why
sir.
commercial? Yes, please.
Yeah. I know that yellow and also red book, but I'm really afraid to say otherwise I will get some
You can,
questions which
yes,
I am
that's what
not
I
aware.
told. When they ask you,
Exactly.
what
Yeah.
are all the something you are aware of? So this is only awareness. You can say, I just know that they are available in the market, but I never used it. Then you can list those things. You say, I have working experience in this, but I know some of the other contracts available. These are the contracts I am aware of. That one you can say like that. That is well and good. Automatically you are safe from further question from that particular contract.
With this answer, this panel will not take a negative approach. Huh?
No. They should not. Because when you say that it is not your experience, if they are
Yes.
asking, then that is against RACS policy. Even
Okay.
if they
Mo-
give comment later that you didn't come up with the answer for that question, you can ask the query to the assessment support team that I already expressed that this is not my experience, but this question came to me. Please explain what sort of things has to be done here. So then they will discuss and come back to you. So you can
Bespoke
raise query
contract
for
using
that.
here, sir.
Yes, of
Mostly
course, if
using
you are using only
bespoke contract.
bespoke means I'm aware that these are the things there, but since I'm not using on day-to-day practice, I'm not, I mostly get confused with class numbers or references,
Close
but
number, yeah.
I only familiar with my bespoke contract. Like that, you can say, my contract, it has this kind of provisions. So be clear with what you know. That is sufficient. You don't need to say something that is not in your experience. And they cannot probe more question on that when you say something you had no experience. That is well and good because it's about your experience, not by somebody else. So when you conclude the project, you have some sort of project audit. Why do we do that? What is the purpose of this project audit?
Financial status. Check to the financial status.
Yes, of course, the other plans and budgets, of course, and lessons learned, whichever
Less.
happened in this project to carry over for the future projects. That is the very
Yes.
important for the project audit. Lesson learned. Whenever you do the case study, why you are doing case study? Because you are evaluating the process you have undergone or extension of knowledge you have extracted from that to take some informed decision and provide reasoned advice. These are the things are typical. That means it's not regular work. It is something as a issue. It came to you. That's why you are doing case study. The outcome of the case study that you are taking as lesson learned, that is going to help you in future projects to avoid such scenario from occurrence, as well as if it occurs, you will be able to manage it better than this time. That is why you are trying to learn from the experience what happens in this project. So that's what we are doing project audit at the end to collect all the things. Everything went good as per the intended budget and plan. If something gone wrong, what sort of remedy we did, and is there anything new knowledge or new experience occurred that is helpful for future projects? That's what we want to understand. And when you have like project life cycle, uh, you want to apply to the particular project, like you have already knowledge about the stages. So why do you want to apply this in the plan? This life cycle stages. Why do we want to apply it? Any idea?
Sir, in order to monitor and track the progress, because we are
Yes.
moving from one to stage to another one, basically.
Yes. So you will be able to control it more appropriately because when you conclude one stage, when you are moving on to next stage, clearly the relevant task within that stage you will try to conclude. If you are not keeping in that way, then everything will be overlapping. You will not be able to monitor and control as it is required to be. That is the purpose we are using the stages to make it smooth transition from one stage to another. That is what it is important. Like conflicting. some sort of conflict avoidance is there, something. Although this is part of level 1 conflict avoidance, conflict management and dispute resolution procedure, but this is also part of your managing projects and commercial management. You want to manage the conflict. So here, how do you manage conflict? Any example you can give? Like avoidance is there. You will prepare without any ambiguity, clearly drafted contract documents, conditions.
Clear
These things,
communication.
yes, this sort of things will be avoidance. But what sort of management you will do managing the conflict? Now conflict came, some misinterpretation or ambiguity present into your contract document or some situation. How do you manage it? Any idea? It is available in your contract provision?
Yeah, it will be based on the project priority documents.
Yes,
Will
because
be
you have the priority of documents. This is going to be help, which is more having value than the other. Automatically, if two documents are conflicting, you will take it to the having
higher
more value,
order of
which is in
priority.
the higher order. Yes, that is also one way of managing conflict. Any other
Contract
idea?
preferendum rule. Contract preferendum rule.
Yes, contra preferendum also, it is one
Ambiguities.
scenario when there is
Yeah.
ambiguity in the clearly how you are going to value the works. So that is you have to take this.
Clear
Who
cut
is
sir,
going
payment
to?
terms. Clear cut payment terms.
Yes, please come again.
Clear payment terms.
No, this clear payment terms, it is avoidance. Now the problem is what we are managing during the construction, because clear payment terms you will put it in the contract, that is clear. Now if it is not clear, what you will do?
So,
That's what we
sir,
are trying to do. Yes,
we
please.
can
Yes,
review the
Dennis.
contract. We can review the contract conditions, right? Usually we have a clauses dispute
Yes.
resolution. I know from the green book, let's say.
Okay. Yes, of
Conduct the
course you can
negotiation.
do. You can do the negotiation and make mutual
Negotiation.
understanding and compromise the things to come into an conclusion. Maybe some sort of provision are not clear in the contract. Now the contractor or subcontractor is expecting something, the employer or the main contractor is expecting something. Now, in order to achieve the common goal, you will negotiate and achieve the most win-win situation for all the stakeholders and agree that by doing some memorandum of understanding or supplementary contract or amendment to the contract itself or revising the contract documents which is having some ambiguity. So those kind of things you can do.
Appoint
Okay.
a proper contract administrator. Is it a suitable option?
No, this is not only for the, yes, of course, this is contract administrator, but contract administrator is the job to do what is there in your contract. Finish. You are going to administer the contract which is presented to you, but you will not do what we can say. Usually the contract administration is not going to advise on the contract. That is in the contract practice.
Understood.
Because you want to do something more than the contract, that means you are making amendment or you are providing some supplementary contract or you are making some memorandum of understanding. Those kind of things comes as the contract practice. So that is not part of contract administration. Contract administration, it is limited to that verifying whether everything goes as per the contract or not. So you will be interpreting what is there in your contract and explain. Yes, maybe misunderstanding, it will be contract administration. You will explain it as per the contract. This is the thing. You have to interpret like this and you have to advise and agree with them. That is misunderstanding. Completely misinterpretation. That means you did not provide certain clauses in the contract to administer certain things. Now the administrator, he cannot do because it is not in your contract. You have to do, okay, remedy. Consider the insurance the contractor has to provide. He didn't provide within a month. What he will do? The remedy, most probably the employer, he will buy himself the insurance and he will deduct the cost from the payment. So that is one possible remedy.
But
If
it
the
is
remedy
only
is not there in your contract, what you will do?
Understood.
Like time is at large. When you have delay penalty, 10% is the cap. Now the time is extended more than 10%. Now this is time is at large. Now you have to do something. This is out of contract. You cannot control the contractor now because already he lost. You are applying LD for 10%. That is the cap. Now finish. How do you control him now?
What we
These
can do
things.
in time at
Yes,
large
that's what you
situation,
have to negotiate. You have to put in some negotiation and mitigation
supplementary
things.
agreement.
Yes, those kind of things you have to agree with him and to make that sort of implementation only. So we cannot do more than that because your contract won't permit anything else. Amicable settlement, yes, of course, that is there. That is what we are telling negotiation. So go for amicable settlement. You will try to do negotiation, then you will achieve to the amicable settlement. That is also the outcome of negotiation. Of course, here the amicable settlement, who is the deciding parties, they have to come. Maybe most probably the senior management level, they will involve in the discussion and agree and okay, we will not put the LD now. You complete the project. We will discuss later. Okay, something like that. Maybe you will get some surplus cost to conclude the project. We will discuss later with the retention and remaining payment. Until that time, maybe we will not put LD now. We will not apply. So that kind of things can be done.
Can I say that one to understand the rights and obligation of each party to avoid the conflict?
Yes, but again, you should not use the term avoid the conflict because here avoidance is already gone.
Manage the
Now
conflict.
it
Manage,
occurred.
manage the conflict.
Manage. So you have to use the term manage. That is what important.
Okay.
I think we are about to the conclusion. I will share the questions what I have with these things.
Yes, good
You can go through
discussion
the
actually.
questions. Yes. And we will try to discuss further.
Actually, LD cannot
Yes.
apply this time at large situation, no?
Yes, because
Even
already you
though
applied a 10% of LD.
yeah, can we apply LD time at large situation? No,
No,
it
no,
is not
no.
possible.
Because the time is large means it has gone over and above
Not,
the.
yeah,
Yes, you cannot apply LD now. You don't have the completion date.
we don't have contract background.
Yes, yes.
Then time at essence, what is that?
Time is of essence means when a project has no value if they complete after the certain point of time. The time is
It means this
most.
is completion date is fixed, no?
No,
Time
because there won't be.
process.
This is time is of essence means this is insisting the time is most important. There
Yeah.
won't be any LD. There won't be anything. If you occur to have this project delayed, something like you are doing a project for having some defense system, you have to provide that before you are facing the problem. Otherwise, you can say some sort of projects like Olympics or FIFA, you have the date.
Yeah.
If you don't complete on that particular date, it is going to have huge sequence of problems from promoters and sponsors. Everybody going to challenge you.
Dispute, yeah.
It's not directly one LD can be applicable here. The project itself become no value. Yes, uh, Rosni?
Yeah,
Yes, please.
yeah. Just want to know how to calculate this LD if
No,
somebody asks
LD
me.
usually when you have the project, it is not any finite rule that is there to calculate LD. Usually, what we take the delay which can be occurred to your project. Most probably, if you are taking like 1/10 of the project duration and 10% of the cap which you are applying, that cannot be more than that. If a project duration is more than 1 year, you will take 10% of the project duration and divide it to the 10% of the project value. That means that is the cap for LD because this is we are applying as the penalty. So you will apply this to calculate per day what will be your penalty. This is the most common scenario what we have in the Middle East. But if the LD is as per actual loss, you need to calculate them from your possibility of incurring that loss. Like when you are going to give it to the operator, like a five-star hotel or a hotel project, then The occupancy, normally how much value that is going to incur during that period, that value you will take and apply for the duration. This is ascertained. That means you will calculate in early actual impact that is going to have on the operator or the employer of the project. That is ascertained value. But other than that, in the Middle East, what we have, it is limited, only 10% of the project. So you will have the duration and 10% of the duration as well as the value. This ratio, it will be applied for per day. Otherwise, the project is shorter than 1 year, then you may apply up to 20% of the project. The duration you will take and make it as a calculation. This is only tentative. But LD and penalty, of course, it is different. In our practice, what we are defining in Middle East, this is again, it's a penalty only. It's not LD. This is some value that industry accepted as maximum cap. That means you are limiting it to 10% of the project value.
Just have a question actually. One of the project is 86 million,
Okay.
but the total duration is 13 months. In the contract mentioned the LD for the delay per day 100,000.
Okay.
But if you calculate the way how the 13 months duration, I don't think that calculation is will come to that 100,000 actually.
So that is what, whenever they give some sort of per day to hype the value, this is, you have to make sense into the project. If you don't make sense and put higher value to the project, LD, per day LD. Yes, contractor usually he will consider some delay and he will put that money into the contingency and apply into the rates.
Yeah.
Everybody will do that. Then your tender price index will go high.
Yes.
So you don't have other choice than to accept it, because every contractor going to include it.
But can we tell like that the LD values calculated based on the discounted cash flow?
No. You cannot use that term here. Discounted because it should be for the value of the project only. There won't be any fluctuation to the value.
LD value should be genuine and valid, no? Valid amount, no?
Yes, of course.
Should be.
Predetermined value, I think.
Yes, of course. This is predetermined. So there won't be any fluctuation or a discounted cash flow is applied.
Fine. Okay. I just keep somebody else. I'll keep in mind that how you told. Okay. Fine. Okay. Thank you very much.
Yes, because you can say this is what we are practicing in our region. Tell that. Okay. So well and good. Maybe in UK they are following something else. In USA they are following something else. In Asian countries something else. Let it be. But what we are following, tell them this is what we are following. This is our industry practice. Of course, we have the term LD, that is not penalty, but what seems to be like this in Middle East is, it is the penalty and LD are common. It is interchangeably used. So you have to tell your experience. This is what expected. Nothing more than that. So what is your experience? How you perceive the industry practice? That's sufficient. No need to bother about what it could be in some other region or what it means to be as per FIDIC. Of course, FIDIC, it gives, again, it is lot of gray area in applying LD and LAD. Although ascertained and LD, both are going to be the cost impact, but how it is going to be interpreted, whether you are interpreting this one earlier during the contract or you are doing at the time of extension of time or delay occurs. So what is the scenario? Those kind of things, still it is not clear. No contract is guiding you that much detail. So that is, you don't need to worry about those things. Just stick what is the practice in your project, what happens with your projects. Give with that example, and this is my one of the project, and we have the provision like this, and this is the LD applied per day, and this is 10% cap applied as per the appendix to tenderers. That's all. Nothing more than that. It should
be an express term, no? This LB should be express term, no? Not is anywhere mentioned is the percentage contract co. Anywhere not mentioned what is the LD percentage. But this.
So if it is not, yes, of course, it has to be expressed. That's why in the appendix to tenderers, we are expressing this, what is the LD. If we don't express in the contract, then it becomes actual. Then we have to prove as per the actual, and as per the situation, you have to negotiate and agree then. It may not be uh, accepted directly. Then that will be disputed. How will you prove? How will you achieve? That is the problem. So in those kind of things, you want to avoid everything. You are expressing into your contract. That's why this LD is expressed within the contract. Any further knowledge or input?
Sir, I don't know. This is out of the subject. Since you are discussing the LD,
Yes, please.
I have a doubt whether it is applicable legally, it is valid or not. If the contractor is imposed the LD under the main contract, due to the delays which is purely attributable to the subcontractor, for example, the MEP contractor. So if you proportionate, the main contract LD will not be sufficient to recover the, maybe it is not equal to the subcontract LD. So is there any chance to recover these
No,
costs from the
that is
subcontractor?
the that is the
So
case
that
again. It is when even though again you go back to two scenarios. One is nominated subcontractor, another is domestic subcontractor. In both the scenario, managing the subcontractor, the responsibility with the main contractor. You have
Right.
to proactively monitor him and give notices well in ahead of time. If it is even though they are nominated, you should send notice to the employer that this subcontractor is not adhering to the agreed program of work or schedule, and he is not delivering the progress, intended progress. So you have to take some action. Either you want to allow him to terminate and you are going to nominate someone else or not. These kind of things should have taken into place in the middle of the project as monitoring and taking mitigation. If you didn't do anything, you cannot ask even if you go to the court and ask, this mistake is not from me, this is the subcontractor, he did mistake. Then again, the court, as per the Middle East, most probably in UAE, I am familiar with, good faith. They are asking, good faith means if you agree to the terms of the contract, what was provided within your contract to address this issue? Did you go through everything? Yes, of course, I went through, and the employer was not supportive. He is not approving me to change the MEP during the thing. Then, if there are any mistakes or there are any delay or non-approval from the employer point of view to take the remedy or action over the subcontractor, then you will get some relaxation in applying the LD, which will be directly relevant to MEP subcontractor. Remaining will be levied. You will not be waived off. You don't need to take that LD. So that kind of thing possible when you prove that you send valid all kind of notices and everything during the course of progress, and you take every action to remedy that or mitigate that. Which one? I didn't get. Yes,
Sir,
please.
it means, that if we notify the subcontractor that if you delay the project, then we will charge all the cost imposed to us from your side. This is not sufficient, right? This kind of notice.
No, no, no. That is not sufficient. That cannot be not done. Because
So
how do you impose? Maybe the subcontractor value itself is not sufficient enough for LD.
right. Yes,
So as per
doesn't make sense.
law,
Yeah.
if you have 10% cap means you cannot exceed 10%. That is for
Right.
sure.
Yeah.
if it is performance breach, we can use the performance bond, no, in case this
Of course, that can be done.
the-
You can revoke the performance bond. Whether that is sufficient for you or not, that is the question. And you should have records for everything.
also
The
the
records.
retention also we can, yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome. Any final question, anybody? Because already we are over and above the time intended. But if fine, or you want to discuss something important, we can discuss.
Project finance. What type of question we can expect? Project finance.
Project finance we will discuss on another session, and we go through the sort of questions which we will expect from the project finance. If you have something for these two competencies, which pathway you are? Quantity surveying and construction?
Quantity survey.
It should be like what we have for this. If we are discussing for that, will be more stretchable. Again, we have to go through the complete scenario of project finance. I think we will discuss that one in one of the upcoming sessions.
Sir, one question.
Yes, please.
Are we gonna? I know that it is related, maybe these sessions with quantity surveyors, but it will be sessions for programming and planning, or?
You want for programming and planning, you are asking?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because actually we planned to do that in the previous session, but since we have been discussing about breaking down the concepts and all, we didn't go through the questions much. We will try to take more sessions in future and do each and every competencies individually. That will be helpful. And I will try to share the sort of questions and a possible way of answering that in particular thing. I will share with you. You can go through those things.
Please, sir.
That will be
if you
also
have
helpful.
For the project management pathway. Yes.
Okay,
please,
sure,
sir.
sure. I will do one by one. So no further questions on this topic means we can conclude the session. And hopefully we will try to do more number of sessions if everybody is fine with any other day other than Tuesdays. We will do closer to maybe at the last 2 weeks of April, we can do some more sessions to discuss. So try to discuss on that and convey your opinions. We will do that one. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir.
Good night.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Sir.
Welcome.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you. Good night.
Thank you. Thank you, Dennis.
Nice
Thank
session.
you. Thank you very much. This is very valuable session and valuable discussion.
Thank you so much. You are most welcome.